All right, man, as we go into the game tomorrow night tomorrow with the Bears, we're going to Soldier Field in a couple weeks. They'll be back for Thanksgiving. Who is to blame the most for Matthew Stafford's potentially wasted MVP year or just potentially a great year by Matthew Stafford? Let's talk about it. We back. Mercy Sports Talk. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email if you got business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. Keep sharing the videos, all right? And we can all say, oh, it's Martha Ford. It's the Ford's fault. But let's just skip that step for a minute. We've been there, done that, talked about that, beat that horse dead. It's dead. It's 6 feet deep. Now, do you blame Bob Quinn more? Or do you blame Matt Patricia more? Now, you can look at Bob Quinn and say, well, he hired Matt Patricia, so he's to blame. Also, you can look at Bob Quinn and say, well, he didn't put enough talent around Matthew Stafford. You also can look at Bob Quinn and say, he traded Quadre Diggs because they wanted to control the voices in the locker room, a.k.a. the Patriot way. Okay? But let's look at Matt Patricia for a minute, right? And I think it's a joint effort. Okay, they really want to make this the Patriots locker room. Okay, and I wanted to get to a Patriot stream this offseason, but I'm going to try to hold the Patriot way stream for the end of the year. Now, I'm glad I did wait. Okay, but they want to make this the Patriot franchise. You know, and Matt Patricia don't want to put his own spin on it. He want to do it strictly by the Bill Belichick book. Okay. But Bob Quinn had a solid coach in Jim Caldwell in place. Let's start off there with Bob, okay? He's the majority of blame. He's probably all to blame for this almost. All Bob Quinn had to do, and maybe Jim Caldwell would have got sick, he had to replace him regardless because he's sick and he's out. But all Bob Quinn had to do, and all Jim Caldwell plays a point, and I hate to cut myself off, but Jim Caldwell plays a point in his own demise. Now, I don't know how much he plays in it because could he not have took over the offensive play calling because Bob Quinn or Rod Wood or Martha Ford didn't want him to? Could he not fire Jim Bob Cooter because the organization didn't want him to? That's the question. Now, if Jim Caldwell could have fired Joe Lombardi, then fired they eventually got rid of Joe Lombardi. But if they could have fired Jim Bob Cooter, then they could have put in a Darrell Bevell type of offensive coordinator, earlier, then the Lions probably have a playoff win. But you really don't know how much control a head coach got. You don't know how much control the general manager got. Because you see the owner step in all the time. Look at the Washington Redskins. He stepped in and made the Shanahan's draft Robert Griffin III, and he stepped in and made Jay Gruden draft Dwayne Haskins when they didn't want him. Okay? But at the end of the day, Bob Quinn hasn't put enough players around Matthew Stafford. He hasn't. This is not enough. His offensive linemen, he whiffed on. All of them. Except for Glasgow and Ragnow. They've been playing tremendous when healthy, Glasgow. Defensively, it's not enough talent on that side. And at the end of the day, he could have drafted a lot of different people up there. Devin Bush, as bad as his linebacker core is. Imagine if you draft Devin Bush into Hawaii, how different that core is. It's drastic. He drafts another tight end, which the tight end ain't helping us this year, which means he never intended for the Lions to be a playoff team this year. What they're doing is they're rebuilding the team how they want to rebuild the team. So to rebuild, you have to rebuild the foundation and build it up the right way. So they're tearing the franchise down from what it's supposed to be and building it from the foundation up to what they want it to be. So that's bringing their guys in, implementing their system, and then building around. And they weeding out the guys they don't want. You see Quadre gone. Next, you might see Darius gone. Next, you might see Marvin gone. They want guys that's going to play and plug into the system and be able to play. So I really don't think it's catastrophic for them. Because if they know they got the time, they're going to do it their way. And they don't care about Matthew Stafford, not getting the accolades and not winning. They paying him to do what he need to do. But I think it's a collective effort here to rebuild this thing the right way. And one of the reasons I kind of knew that they wasn't trying to build it for the here and now, for the lack of trades and going to get assets and going to get players that can help them, and from drafting a tight end. When you draft a tight end doesn't come in and have an immediate impact. It's very, very rare that happens. So they really building for the future. That's what they doing. They're not building for the here and now. They building for years down the line to build the franchise the right way. But the person to blame for Stafford's wasted MVP year or great year is Bob Quinn. Now, they hired the right offensive coordinator, but yet again, this goes back to the lack of running game, goes back to Bob Quinn. He didn't get the right tackle he was supposed to. Rick Wagner didn't work out. Didn't get the left guard he was supposed to. Dell and Wiggins now moved to the right, but Glasgow's fitting there. Ragnow's right, the left guard, left tackle, Decker, and whoever Dell and whoever the hell back there, Wiggins. Two most important positions, left tackle and right tackle. Sorry. That's Bob Quinn's fault. Now, as far as what Matt Patricia's fault is, he's supposed to be this defensive genius, and his defense is last in the league in overall defense last time I checked. It's last. So the defense not doing their part, the offense doing their part. So it's not Matthew Stafford's fault this year. He's playing the best football he did. The great thing they did do was hire the right offensive coordinator. They hired the right guy to run the offense. But Bob Quinn did a ton of other wrong things, and Matt Patricia's defense sucked. You traded away Quadre. Jared Davis, he ain't getting the job done. Instead of saying, you know what, Davis still not getting the job done, let's just plug Tavai in the middle linebacker, let him learn as he go. Did they do that? No. Trey Flowers gave him all that money. We knew he wasn't worth all that. I told y'all he wasn't worth all that money. I don't care what he do from now on. He's not that type of player. It's a collective effort. But mainly the blood falls on Bob Quinn's hands. Because he picks the personnel, he handpicked the coach he want, and the team has regressed. It's all Bob Quinn's fault. I don't even fault Matt Patricia. It's Bob Quinn's fault. But you notice this, and I'm going to say this to close it out. You notice it really ain't inklings to fire Matt Patricia? That same energy to fire Jim Caldwell, and every little mistake Jim Caldwell made, and Jim Caldwell got thrown under the bus because, he wasn't fiery with the refs. He seemed like he didn't care. Matt Patricia ain't fiery with the refs. Matt Patricia ain't blasting the refs in a post-game reaction. Y'all notice how that energy is totally different from Matt Patricia? Patricia ain't on the hot seat. His pot ain't boiling. His muffins ain't burning. But for Jim Caldwell, a guy that was far more successful in his first 2 years with the Lions, was burning hot from the very beginning. Now, I wonder why that is. And some people can be in denial and say, it's because of this, it's not because of that. Y'all know why it is. He don't have the complexion for the protection or the complexion for the selection. No way, shape, form, or fashion should Matt Patricia be allowed to coach past this year. If the year keep going the way it's going. He should be fired. But you know what? I don't see the energy from the fans. That same energy they have for Caldwell. Like Caldwell was the worst coach they ever had. I don't even think that energy, it rivaled Rod Marinelli 0-16. More than it's rivaling what Matt Patricia going through right now. Ain't nobody asking Patricia to get fired. Remember, Patricia is a defensive genius. 32nd in overall defense he was ranked last week. Going into last week. You tell me why. You tell me who's the most to blame for this. Hey, but it's Mercy Sports Talk. Appreciate the love, support. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out to the email if you got business questions, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation, leave subscription. Best way to donate is share the video. Don't forget to check out the channel out for more sports, music, entertainment. Mercy Sports Talk. Y'all know what the business is. One time for the one time, your boy CJ Goodfella. We